Hey everybody, Matumbo here. Welcome back to the channel, and today we are playing some more Historic here on Magic Arena. And oh, what a run it's been. It is it's the last day of Decktember, and again, it has been a crazy ride. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. But again, if you guys were not familiar with what Decktember is, what it was, and what it will forever will be, Decktember is my way of saying thank you to each and every one of you for helping to grow the channel into such an amazing community. I could not be any more thankful for each and every one of you. Seriously, from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much. What I've been doing is I've been playing viewer submitted decks all month. Only viewer submitted decks through the month of December. Been calling it Decktember. We've been playing some games with them as is, then talking about the deck, doing a tune-up section where we've been talking about what we liked about the deck, what we didn't like, some of the synergies you had that really worked well, maybe some that could have used some fine-tuning, hence the tune-up name that was given to us by one of our friends in the Discord and in life, Mr. Dandelion. So thank you so much for that. And yeah, we've just been doing that. And then, after revising the deck, we've been playing some games with the deck with our new version of it. And then we've been talking about everything as a whole in the wrap-up. So that's what Decktember has been. I've been instructing people to submit their decks by going to the Discord channel. We have a special Decktember channel there. But today is, well, not my today, but as you're watching this, today is the last of December. It is New Year's Eve, December 31st. So a huge shout out to each and every one of you, but a huge shout out to a certain particular person who was lucky enough to get the last slot in the Decktember series. So real quick though, before we hop into that though, as always, if you enjoy the channel, the video, and you enjoyed Decktember, all I ask is that you like, comment, and subscribe, and check out all the cool links down below. So yeah, let's get into this. So we are calling this deck Mana Bank, thanks to Izarus. You spelled your name a couple different ways. I hope that I am pronouncing it correctly. I think your name is misspelled in Discord in the templating. Your name is Izarus in the Discord as your name, and it is that way in the deck link in EtherHub. So yes, again, huge shout out to you. Thank you so much for submitting this deck. Well, let's talk about this deck. So this deck looks to be focusing on charging up our mana, getting as much mana in as possible, and playing these Leyline Tyrants. Leyline Tyrant is a really cool mythic from one of the newest sets, Zendikar. 4 mana, 4/4 flyer. Already great stats. You don't lose unspent red mana as steps and phases end. So if we just have red mana available, we could just be tapping it, and then it's just going to be sitting in our mana pool for us to use. And then this says, whenever Leyline Tyrant dies, you may pay any amount of red mana. When you do, it deals that much damage to any target. So we could just save up like 100 mana, and then our Leyline Tyrant might die to some kind of removal spell, and then we could take all that red mana that we had saved up and then just point it at a target and just deal all that extra damage. So that's what this deck is trying to do. So I do want to point out though, the first thing you might notice, besides the random pile of cards here that happens to be red and green for our Decktember theme, this is a 70 card deck. And again, I have been letting people know Magic is a game that is meant to be fun. So yes, ideally in Constructed, the minimum deck size in Constructed is 60 cards. So you typically want to stick to 60 cards if you're trying to, what they call min-max, and you're trying to, make sure that you're drawing your best cards all the time, especially if you're focusing on, certain things. But again, this is a game. It's meant to be fun. You play what you want to play at the end of the day. If you want to play 70 cards in your deck, play 70 cards in your deck. As long as your ratios are fine, your mana ratios to your land to your non-land works, then, why not? Do what you want to do. People are out there playing, 80 card Yorion decks. So why not play a 70 card deck? Who cares? Play what you want to play. But so what else? What does this deck do? Like I said, it does ramp. We've got 4 copies of Explore to get those extra land out early on. We got a couple of Burning Tree Emissaries to replace themselves. These are cool. 2 mana, 2/2. When it comes into play, we add 2 mana. So it's just going to give us free mana when it comes into play. So we get to cast an extra spell. We could potentially on turn 2 Burning Tree Emissary into Explore. So yeah, so we got a free 2/2 creature, and we got to play an additional land. We have 4 copies of Volcanic Geyser. This is a X spell. It's an instant, 2 red and X, deals X damage to any target. And again, we're going to be storing up a lot of red mana. So we could potentially just draw one of these off the top of the deck and, you know, blast somebody for 20. Who knows? We have a couple copies of Dryad of the Elysian Grove. This is a 3-mana 2/4. We get to play an extra land on each of our turns, and lands we control are every basic land type in addition to their other types. So this means that all of our lands at this point, even our basic forests, are going to be able to tap for red because they are going to also be considered mountains. So that is really cool synergy with Leyline Tyrant. Garruk's Uprising, this 3-mana enchantment, would if we have a creature that has power 4 or greater when it comes into play, we get to draw a card. All of our creatures are going to have trample, so that's going to work well with some of our big beefy creatures that we'll see later. And then it says whenever a creature with power 4 or greater enters the battlefield under your control, draw a card. So this is going to allow us to draw cards as we play these big bad fatties. So big bad fatties are where we want to be in this deck, and saving mana to play those seems like a really, really good idea. One copy of Klothys, because we can add mana, we can deal damage, we can gain life, and he's an indestructible creature based on her devotion. We have a couple copies of Radha. Radha is going to be really cool here because this lets us play lands from the top of our library. So we could potentially just chain lands together with Dryad of the Elysian Grove. And then for 6 mana, we get to pump Radha into a giant creature based on the number of lands we have in play. And they'll have trample thanks to the Garruk's Uprising. 3 copies of Chandra because, again, 4 ability planeswalkers are stupid broken, and you should be playing all of them that are available to you at all the time. 3 copies of Ironcrag Feet. This 4-mana spell adds 7 red mana. We only get to cast 1 spell, so we could just play this and just store the mana potentially. We could play this and then cast a really big Volcanic Geyser. We could play this into a Terror of the Peaks. We could play this to fuel our Great Henge. There's just so many different things we could be doing with 7 mana. The options are almost limitless in this deck. We have 1 copy of Domri, Chaos Bringer. This is a 4-mana, 5 loyalty planeswalker. This is kind of an interesting choice. For the +1, we can add a red or a green mana. If we cast a creature with it, the creature gains Riot. That Riot means the creature either comes into play with a +1/+1 counter or it has haste. The -3 ability says that we get to look at the top 4 cards of our library and put 2 creature cards from them into our hand. Or if we emblem, we are going to get a 4/4 trampling red and green beast token every turn. Pretty cool. And then we do have 2 copies of Grand Warlord Radha. 4 mana, 3/4 haste. Whenever we get to attack, we get to add that much mana in any combination of red and or green. So this is going to have, and then we do lose the mana at the end of the turn. But if we have Leyline Tyrant in play, we get to add red mana, and then we just get to keep that red mana. So seems good. 4 copy of Terror of the Peaks. Terror of the Peaks is going to be really good with a lot of these cards. We're going to be playing big, beefy creatures, and then we're going to be able to deal damage equal to their power when they come into play. And on top of that, all of our creatures are going to be lands at this point. All of our lands are going to be all the land types, so all of our creatures are also going to be mountains. So we can start tapping all of our forests for red mana, and then we could be saving up for Leyline Tyrant. And again, this guy's going to be huge because we're going to have so much land in play. Terror of the Peaks is going to hit. Boom, boom, boom. Deal all the damage. And we just have a few extra cards here. We have a couple copies of Greater Gargaroth again. Probably the 2nd best green mythic on Arena. Maybe 3rd at the worst. A couple copies of Escape to the Wild because a 5-card draw spell in red-green is really busted. You know, this was banned in Standard for a reason. And a couple copies of the Great Henge. Again, who does not like the Great Henge? Great Henge is a great card. This is going to be pretty cheap with how big some of these creatures are. So yeah, and then to wrap it up, we have 28 land. Again, I'm glad that there are 28 land in this deck because, again, we are playing a 70-card deck. So it is important that we do get all of the land. So again, a huge shout out to Izarus. Thank you so much for this deck. And again, Decktember, it's been a wild ride. I'm so happy to have put this together, and you guys have enjoyed it. So yeah, maybe we do another theme for January. If you have an idea for a theme, I don't really know if we're going to, but if you do have a theme idea for January, hit me up in the comments below or private message me on Discord, and we can potentially talk about something like that. So yeah, So with that being said, guys, let's play Izarus's version of this deck and see how we do. And then we will be back at the tune-up. So see you guys shortly. All right, Izarus, we're doing it. We are playing this crazy looking deck. Opponent number 1, Skeleton D. Oh, we get to go first. We need another mana for this to be. Ryan, no, can't keep that. We can keep this. Don't really want to keep this, but we can keep it. Right, we probably just lose to whatever Lurrus deck this is. Stitcher's Supplier. Crocs into the graveyard. Crocs into the graveyard again. It's just crazy that they're almost able to bring back Croxa already. So they can sack the Stitcher Supplier. Pyromancer's pretty good. I guess we're just gonna go on the dragon attack plan. We're just gonna keep playing 4/4s. Try to race Croxa. Yeah, we're not gonna give you Croxa availability this turn. If you want to sack the supplier and cast it on your next turn, that's fine. But okay, that's fine. So guess we get to attack. We get to Burning Tree into another Leyline. Seems really good. So, do we play another dragon next turn, or do we play Chandra? I guess it's going to depend, right? So, let's see what they do. Okay, Lurrus into Croxa. So that's fine. So now we have to figure... what's the better card to discard? Yep. Oh, and you didn't attack? Yeah, we're just gonna save up some mana. Let them do their thing. Say, basically, I feel like activating or using mana there is a little bit better. It's gonna allow us to potentially get a better card next turn. This Escape from the Wild is essentially going to use 1 mana, like 1 red mana, whenever we cast it. I just don't want to mill a card that is not going to kill them this turn. Okay. That's fine. Big attacks. I feel like you have to go after Chandra, right?
We're done here.
Sure thing. You're at 8. Okay. Still at 8. Hey, Jinx. You know right when to show up, huh? Right when to say hi to everybody. 2 days in a row, everybody gets to see your beautiful face. Mwah. You were just up there for the cameo, huh? Kitty cameo. All right. I think they're looking for a reanimation spell of some kind. That is a lot of cards they can cast from their graveyard. But we have lethal in the air next turn. No, they're good gaming us. All right, well, that's a good first game, right? Good first game with this mana bank deck, and we did bank some mana. So, all right, let's go into game 2. Nice. All right, we got immediate pairing. We're going to remember to turn off this hydrate reminder this time, but hey. Oh, we get to go first? All right, well. Remember, everybody, hydration. Hydrating is important. We are going to keep this. All right, let's throw out a mountain first. I don't know how good and or bad this hand is. I do know that I'm a little disappointed that we don't have another land to follow up there. This is a Guildgate deck. Oh, Azor's Gateway. What a sweet card. We have not seen that card in such a long time. Alright, deck, land one time off the top. Oh, this is going to be a tough one. This is going to be a tough one. Oh, no. Oh, no. Do I have to fire these volcanic geysers off for one? Going to. There we go. There we go. Oh, don't wrath me, bro. Don't wrath me. Oof. Oof, oof, oof. Shy is going to be pretty big if we can land it. So this gateway, it's going to be a little annoying because what's going to happen is they're going to gain 5 life on top of it, and then it will... So, okay, so they actually got rid of 3 cards that share a mana cost. Like, we'll go ahead and let them untap our creature. This is going to be a 8/8. 8/8's pretty good. Oh. That hurts. That hurts. They've discarded 3 mana cost spells. Okay, there's a 6. So they have 2. All right, well. Holy Zakama. Don't. Aww. 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 So we lose now, right? Can't beat a Zakama. We did get stuck on a little land. They're just gonna gain life. And they are going to trample us to death. Then once this thing flips, 4, 6, 3. Oh, okay. That seems good, right? Good game. Good game. No block. Well. That has trample. That has trample. Everything has trample. Everything has trample. All right, we're getting trampled. We're gonna do this for 4. To our face. Oh, nice. Good game. All right. They never expect volcanic geyser to the face, right? So maybe if we would not have busted them for 1 that one turn, there might have been a reality where we lived, but I really felt like we weren't going to draw any land, which we really didn't. We only ended up with 6 land. So, all right, next game. All right, well, we have one more game here. Uh-oh. The final boss is Captain Crunch. This is an interesting hand, right? So we're going to keep... We get to turn 2 Emissary into Explore. I don't hate that. Oh, well, hello, Captain Crunch. Oh, I don't like that. Yep, here come the enchantments. No, no enchantment. Yep. You have yourself a pirate. So they have another counterspell. I guess we have to do this now. Go and use your spell Pierce here. They already have too many counter spells in their hand. Really, just constant lookout dispersals. You have another one? Lofty Denial. So if we could draw another Burning Tree Emissary here, right? Another Burning Tree Emissary lets this actually come out as a creature, which gets to deal damage. Seems pretty good. So they double opted. If they don't attack, they lose the Curious Obsession. So that might force them to use something like Petty Theft. No attack. That's great news. So that Terramander does No tax. I'll go ahead and let you grow your Pteramander into a 5/5. Yep, that is an unfortunate 6/6. Maybe we can draw Gargaroth. I mean, we're going to have to draw Gargaroth. No, I said Gargaroth. Six, seven, eight. They have a Brazen Borrower. We're dead. Ugh. 6, 7, 8, 9. We be at 2. Is there anything we can draw? Oh. Yeah, unfortunately, Pteramander becomes a 5. We block the 6. We still take 5 in the air. Let's just go ahead and swing in. That's all we can do, Mr. Captain Crunch. I mean, if we had a freaking... what if we had an Embercleave here, right? We would just get you really good if we had an Embercleave. All right, do it to it. Good game. Just kill us. Okay, you got it. Just attack, dude. All right. Oh, Captain, our good game made you hesitate with your attack, and I'm sorry. We should have just let it happen. But all right, let's talk about this deck. This deck has potential. I do see there. So let's see what we're gonna do. All right, well, let's talk about the old Mana Bank deck that we just played. We went 1-2, so not a horrible record. I mean, we still won one of our games, but I do feel like, again, with this being a 70 card deck, we do need to focus on a few things. First off, you know, we need to make sure that our land count is correct. I do feel like in a deck that focuses on land ramp, you know, wanting to get out as much land as possible. And that's something that these Rada decks do focus on, with Radas and Explorers and Dryad of the Elysian Groves and stuff like that, and wanting to bank all of the mana as possible, you know, with ley lines and everything. We need to make sure that we have plenty of land. So I've seen 60 card decks play 28 lands in their versions of this deck before. And sometimes it seems like enough. Sometimes it still doesn't seem like enough. So I do feel like we may need to, if we were to leave it at 70 cards, we're not going to leave it at 70 cards. I can tell everybody that right now. But if we were to leave it at 70 cards, we would just have to, I think, up the land count to maybe like 30, 32 lands, to be 100% honest with you, in order to make sure that we're hitting our land drops. But since we are going to be dropping it down to 60, the other thing we really need to focus on, I feel like, is what are we wanting to really make this deck do? And I feel like with the name being Mana Bank, we do want to focus on the Leyline Tyrants. You know, we want to be able to make sure that our mana is always available, that we have an excess of mana. And I feel like some of the cards in this deck just really don't focus on that well. The first card I really don't feel like actually belongs in this version of the deck, because we're not really on a super aggressive plan, is the Burning Tree Emissaries. So especially with there only being 2, I think if you're going to play Burning Tree Emissary, you just have to play 4 of them. It just really doesn't make sense to only play 2 of them, because while an ideal hand, you're going to have 2 of them in your hand, but there's really no real reason not to try to have 4 of them in your hand, especially on turn 2, with the perfect draw, so to speak. So Burning Tree Emissary as a 2-of doesn't make sense. So that's something we would have to definitely either cut or increase. And then we really just need to look at some of the other cards. And I know this may be just a numbers game, and maybe due to the, what card you had in your collection. But again, some of these cards just don't make sense with what we're trying to do numbers wise. So Rada is a very powerful card in a deck that's trying to play a lot of land. So again, we'd want this to be 4 of. We'd want the Dryad to be a 4 of. We would just want to make sure that these numbers met, and we want to make sure that we're doing them. We want to make sure that our synergy is still there. Another card I really don't feel like may not interact well in this deck is Garruk's Uprising. I feel like there's a better card. You're going to see that. I think the card that I'm 99.9% sure I'm going to replace with this card is going to be a little bit better for another reason. So again, we just really need to figure out what we're doing. And again, there's some great synergies here, because, Ashaya turns everything into forests, all of your creatures. And then at the same time, the Dryad says all of your land can tap for any color. So then all of our lands can tap for red mana at that point, since the Ashaya's makes everything land. They can tap for red, and that feeds the Leyline Tyrant. That's great and all, but I just feel like some of these cards just don't belong in this deck. So we are going to, like I said, or like we normally do, we're going to hop into our Magic Time Machine, and we're going to see what we can do with this deck. Again, not too sure on some of the numbers and some of the cards, but I do feel like overall, with what I'm starting to form up here, I feel like we might be onto something a little bit sweet. So if not, you can blame me later, but we're going to give it a shot. So let's hop into the time machine. I'm going to fiddle around with some numbers and some different cards and see what we come up with. So I will see you guys here in just a couple quick seconds. All right, Izarus, I hope you enjoy the changes that we are about to talk about with your deck. So what did we do, and what are we doing? Well, the one card that I mentioned that I felt like was a little bit better than the Garruk's Uprising in a deck like this, I really think is going to be Kiora, Behemoth Beckoner. So she costs the same amount of mana. She basically almost has the exact same ability, slightly different. We don't necessarily get to draw a card if we have a 4-power creature in play whenever we cast Kiora, but Kiora is still going to give us the benefit of saying, hey, whenever you cast a creature with power 4 or greater, or actually whenever it enters the battlefield under your control, draw a card. So, and on top of that, she is a 7-mana loyalty planeswalker for 3 mana. And her -1 ability is going to allow us to untap a permanent. So that actually gives us a little bit of mana ramp. And that's exactly where we want to be in a deck like this, because we are focusing on putting in a ton of mana in play as quickly as possible. And we were just trying to ramp to our bombs and just try to get the game over with as quickly as possible. So some of the card numbers we stayed the same with, some of them we up, some of them we down, but overall the deck I feel like is going to have the same synergy and the same focus as what we were trying to do previously, and that is with the Leyline Tyrant, trying to force mana into the Leyline Tyrant and save all of this red mana. We up the copy of Dryad of the Elysian Grove, because I did feel like that, hey, we want red mana. This gives us red mana regardless of what kind of land we have in play. And we still left in the 2 Ashayas that were in the deck because of the same synergy, making all of our creatures forests, which forests are land. Land basically can tap for any land type thanks to the Dryad. So that is going to hopefully feed us a lot of red mana into these ley lines once we get them into play. So what else did we do? Well, we decided to go ahead and throw in 4 copies of Llanowar Elf. Llanowar Elf in this deck could get kind of insane, because this really gives us the opportunity to have 8 ramp spells on turns 1 and 2 as opposed to just 4. So ideally, a turn 1 Llanowar Elf is going to be the best, because we get to Llanowar Elf on 1 and then immediately play a 3-drop on turn 2, which we can't really do on turn 2 if we're playing Explore. This just allows us to get to a 4-drop on turn 3, but at the same time, Llanowar essentially does the exact same thing. So the only difference between this is Llanowar is obviously going to give us it's going to be 1 turn faster, but then the Explorer is actually going to give us a card that the Llanowar does not. So this does replace itself. What else do we have? Well, we're still playing 2 Radas. Rada could get pretty good if we do keep seeing land on top of our deck. Didn't really want to focus on 4. I actually did have 4 in this deck while I was building it and moving some numbers around, but I just didn't feel like, I felt like if we focused on having 4 Radas, then we would have to keep our land count higher than what we wanted to, because we did cut down a couple of land. We're down to 26 land as opposed to 28, which is still, I feel like, the right number of land in this deck. So again, if I felt like if we were focusing on this as a 4 of, then we would have to have upped our land count. And I also thought about putting an Oracle in this deck, but I really didn't want to focus on Oracle as a 4-drop. Oracle of Moldiah, that is, if you're not familiar. 4 mana, 2/2. The difference is we have to play with the top card of our land revealed, where Rada actually just lets us look at the top card of our library. So Oracle gives information to our opponents that we don't want to give them. We also are going to play a couple copies of Domri. The 3 mana Domri, it's going to give our creatures +1. It's going to allow us to add mana, which is going to be, could be slightly useful. And then if we need to, the fight ability might come into play. The fight ability could force us to kill our Leyline Tyrants if we fight this into one of their big creatures. So it could be useful as a finisher to basically force our Leyline Tyrant to die. And the same goes with Chandra. We left the Chandras at 3. I really wanted to fit a 4th one in here. I just didn't feel like I could. But Chandra also can kill our Leyline, which could force us to, again, start just spending all of that stored red mana that we have and then kill our opponents, hopefully. We did duck down the Terror of the Peaks number to 3 as opposed to 4. Didn't really want to focus on that as well. Everything else is really the same. Obviously, you can see our land base is a little different. We're playing 4 Stomping Grounds in addition to the 4 Rootbound Crags. And we're also playing 4 Crag Crown Pathways or Timber Crown Pathways. Basically the red-green pathway. And then we're just playing 7 of each of the basics. And so overall, we cut the deck count from 70 down to 61. So this is what we're going to go with. So again, I really hope that you enjoy the changes that we made to this deck. We're just going to give it a shot and see what we can do. So Izarus, this is the new deck as we're about to play it. So let's play these games and we will talk about it in the wrap up. See you guys soon. All right, well, Izarus, let's see if this new version of this deck does it. We were able to get some people, or at least one person, in our initial games pretty good, right? So we just need an opponent. Our Hydrate brings all the opponents to the yard. All right, we're going first. Don't really have any good ramp. Right, no good ramp, no good ramp. I do think we have to keep this, though. Don't be goblins. All right, it's not goblins. It is not goblins. But all right. What do you take? I'm gonna take Chandra, right? I mean, the only card we can cast is gonna be the Rada. But yeah, okay. So let's just play the forest. They don't know about the mountain yet. Next turn, I think we just slam Chandra. Oh, so they're playing a weird Jund sacrifice stack. Okay, goodbye, Chandra. Well, they know about one, but do they know about two? Alright, Clothis. Not super worried about Clothis, right? I guess we're just going to put him on a fast clock. I mean, 4 into 8 is pretty good.
It's over when I say it's over.
Don't have a languish, and I hate just saying it. Right? Okay. Scavenging Ooze. Knight of the Ebon Legion. Seems fine. So... Yep. I mean, we are threatening lethal. Ah, so they're adding mana. What do they got for 6 mana? What do they have for 6 mana? And why wouldn't they want the life there? Or yeah, why would they not want the life? Okay, I mean, I guess still they can go up to 8. There's only one creature in the graveyard. Okay. I'm gonna put full control on just in case I gotta feed mana in. Yeah, that's not gonna gain you any life though. Alright. Good game, shoot. Good game. That was an interesting line of play there. I feel like you should have gained the 2 life. Maybe they just clicked on the wrong card by mistake, thinking that they would have gained the life off of that. But good game. Alright, well. It's a little known fact that it's hard to deal with consecutive 4/4 flyers. So, when all else fails, start slamming dragons. Start getting in there. Yeah. Alright, Galen. Welcome to the game. We get to go first. Alright. So, if we draw an Explorer or a Land War Elf here, I don't hate it. I mean, we do get to play Kiora 3. Oh, wow, we did draw it. I guess it absolutely doesn't matter. Merfolk. Right. So the question becomes, Chandra? Chandra immediately becomes a target. But then Chandra can't get killed if we play Chandra. I think this is the way to go.
You want to play with fire, huh? See ya.
Some of you might think that's wrong, but they don't have an attacker this turn. It goes back up to 2. If they just slam this down, thinking, oh, flying is good. Okay, well, Mirror Reader is pretty good. So let's think. 1, 2, 3. Untap. Seems pretty good.
Life thrives. Yup, you're going down.
Seems pretty good, right? We're still in a pretty fragile state to this mirror regery because they do play a lot of instant type things. Okay. I don't know if I would have just slammed down a Merfolk Trickster right there. Okay, so they're going to kill Chandra, which is fine. Because we're going to get the value out of Kiora.
Whatever. Figure it out on your own.
Alright, so they have another one. Alright, well, we're not going to attack there. So... I mean, the likelihood of them having any more tricksters is pretty low. But any merfolk, like, in multiples now, like another Regery would be really, really bad. Alright, so that's fine. Okay, I don't know if you realize what's happening here. Okay. I mean, I'm gonna block that.
Something smells fishy here.
So, do we get to attack with a Gargaroth? They have another instant? No. Oh, that's fine. That's fine. So... no attacks. We're going to slam down another... Yeah, merfolk are still bad against us, right? Oh, collected company, really? Wow. That's ridiculous. Alright, so they're just coming at us. Pick 7 here? Can't block there. I really wish they would have attacked with that Regery. Alright, so I guess overall it doesn't matter. This, I guess we need to attack first, right? Do we draw or create a 3/3? Do we draw or create a 3? I guess we could have done that a little bit differently. Yeah, we could have killed off this Kumena speaker if we would have distributed the damage a little bit differently. Could have done 3 to each. That's our mistake. Definitely a misplay. But I wouldn't be surprised if they just drew another collected company off the top, right? Okay. Let's test it. Let's test the counterspell.
I defy gods. You will be easy. Let's get moving.
I just don't want to get lofty denialed here. It's pretty good. That was a pretty good draw. Okay, so they drew a land. Really? Are you doing this? I don't think you want to attack with that Skydiver either. I guess the proliferate really doesn't make that much of a difference. Only has first strike on our turn. Six. Go to 7. Oh, 5. Sorry. I missed 2 damage there. All right. Well, let me turn off for full control. Ooh. This is good. Seems pretty good. No attacks. This game has definitely turned into something interesting. There was a lot of good back and forth there. Again, we did misplay that one turn where we could have divided the damage evenly, put 3 on each of the 4/4s, and then killed with the Terror of the Peaks his lord, which would have killed both of those creatures. So a little bit of a misplay, but hey, we still got there. That was a sweet game. Good game, Galen. Good game. All right, well, let's do it to it. Game number 3 or 6. Again, depending on how you look at it. Somebody had mentioned that I should put that as the chapter title for this game. Nope, nope, nope. No carbon required. I feel like that's a lie. I feel like carbon is required for everything. So this is a hand we cannot keep. We have 24 mana worth of spells and only 2 land. Is it still something we can't keep? Alright, a little bit better. So we can put back a land. I guess a Dryad. It just sucks that we don't have a forest, right? Because we know this Llanowar Elf is going to get shocked. So red-white, huh? This is an interesting... This is an interesting, like, series of cards we're seeing already. Light up a stage. Okay, so maybe they'll play this Hazard as a land. Now they can't. They don't have that Hazard to actually ping our Llanowar Elf, which is pretty good. So now they have to throw extra damage at it. No, well, they had another one. Of course they did. Of course they did. All right, let's put a target out there. Hopefully this is gonna gain 4 life. No, not at all. They have all the burn in their hand. All the burn. They just flat out ignore that card. Oh yeah, pretty sure.
Come and destroy.
Pretty sure we can't win. If this would have been a land, that'd have been sweet. We could have played the Tyrant, we could have fought something. But instead, we go to 7, we get attacked, we go to 3. We go to 2, and then we just get shocked. Good game. Not really. Not really. You coward. Oh, you coward playing your burn. Oh. Oh. You misspelled your name. Carbon should be what? Brain, right? No brain required for that burn. Oh, man. All right. Final boss time, guys. Final boss. All right. It's time for the final boss. Let's do it. All right, who's it going to be? Wizzy166. Welcome to the game. Let's see what we can do here. So, yeah, we're going to go this route. Think it's better to play Kiora here. Bishop of Wings seems pretty good. We do have a lot of planeswalkers, right? Oh, well, Chandra.
I don't need this.
Little did they know, that's not gonna matter. Yeah. I'm fine with this. Don't have a Wrath. Don't have a Wrath. You're an angel deck. You're a creature deck. No. Not gonna lie, we almost went for it.
Come and destroy.
Let's get moving.
We almost went for it. I wonder how many of these they have in their sideboard, right? Do they have more? They just play one? You sure? You don't want to go for that?
This'll be easy.
I mean, let's do it. Let's do it to it. All right, all right, all right.
Oh, this is gonna hurt.
When I'm finished here, there'll be nothing left of dust. Oh, I look forward to seeing you running away. My one stop bringing your comeuppance.
Yeah, we should have just played the other Domri. I guess it didn't matter, right? Oh, now we just get life gained out of this game. Oh. Well, that was a pretty good draw. That was a pretty good turn. Oh, we haven't even got to finish our turn yet. Red. Red.
You're going down.
6.
Nature flows with vigor.
We could still do this. We just made it difficult. We're gonna get all of the flack in the comments, right? For our ordering. Sure thing.
I'm not finished. Not by a long shot.
Sure thing. Sure thing.
Time to toast your marshmallows. S'mores, anyone? You wanna go, tough guy? If you play with fire, you're gonna get burned.
Yes, super hard mode activated. No blocks.
Well, that was a disaster.
All right. Well, you honestly can't have any more of those. So we've already seen all those. Well, gotta keep remembering to pay mana. Oh, Banishing Light, okay. Targeting Kiora, all right.
Don't miss me too much.
I think we're fine with that at this point. Block. I mean, we had to go after all their creatures. That was a good draw. Ooh! Wow. We overcame a huge misplay there by just kind of going balls to the wall to try to kill him. And yeah, that worked out. And I know you guys are going to eat me alive in the comments, so go ahead. Go ahead. My bad. You know, it happens. But this is a sweet deck. There's a lot of intricacies to it. So, yeah, let's talk about it. All right, everybody, welcome back to the wrap up. So we did really well with this deck. I mean, it wasn't one of our crazy undefeated runs, but we went 1-2 with the original version, and then we went 3-1 with this deck. So overall, we went 4-3, and I feel like for a deck like this, which really doesn't have a lot of removal or interaction in itself, I feel like is really good. It does have a lot of just big beefy creatures. It's not playing some of the crazy bombs that you typically see in red green in Gruul, such as, you know, Embercleave or Questing Beast, you know, the cards where you really typically want to be in. But I do feel like from what we took this to what we ended up with, I really feel like we're headed in the right direction with this. I really still feel like this deck could probably be improved upon. There are some cards I think are the numbers may or may not be right. I'm still not really sure on Ashaya in this deck or Rada, but I do feel like Domri was a good addition, the 3-mana Domri, and I really do feel like Kiora actually worked out really, really well, and I'm really glad that we decided to go with the Kiora as opposed to the Garrix Uprising. You know, the only difference is, you know, the Garrix Uprising does give our creatures trample, but I do feel like overall we would just rather get a little bit of additional card advantage, which gets us to our Terror of the Peaks and our Gargarots and our Chandras and stuff like that. So I just feel like the more cards we see, the better and the higher chance that we'll have of actually winning. So that is this deck, the Mana Bank number 2, version 2. Again, Izarus, thank you so much for submitting this deck. This deck was a lot of fun. I love playing this deck. We've seen so many amazing decks over the course of Decktember. Again, I am so thankful for each and every one of you. Thank you so much. I'm sorry that I can't direct you to submit another deck, but you know what? Keep submitting your ideas to me in the deck analysis channel in the Discord. And if you want me to play, you know, reach out. That is always a thing that could potentially still happen occasionally. I would like to highlight, you know, some viewer decks every once in a while. Yeah, though, again, Decktember's been amazing. If you have an idea for a potential another theme later on down the line, please shoot me a direct message in Discord or hit me up in the comments. I would prefer the Discord method. That way I could sucker you guys into joining Discord with the rest of the, again, awesome community that you guys have formed there. So yeah, so thank you so much for everything. We're still going to go strong. 2020 is coming to an end after today, but 2021 happens the day after, and hopefully it is not a, you know, it's not 2020 prestiging like we've seen in some of these memes. It is just going to be a brand new year, and it's going to be nothing but great things for everybody. So that's what my hopes are. So I hope you're right there with me on hoping there too. But other than that, though, again, just keep tuning in. We're going to try to make great content each and every day. You know, we do take an occasional break, but yeah, when we take a break, you can usually find us on Twitch streaming. So hit up that follow button on Twitch if you don't mind. Also check out the other links down below. All kinds of links. We got the link to the Discord if I can get you in there, and then we also have the Patreon link. So Decktember, it's over. What will January bring for us? What will 2021 bring for us? Again, nothing but good. That's what I'm hoping. So everybody stay safe. We will see you next time. Happy New Year. Remember, this channel would not exist without such amazing viewers and subscribers. Thank you so much for interacting with the channel and helping grow the community. And a very big special thank you to the Patreons listed here for supporting the channel.